Mmm, yummy.
How do you find the fame part of your job?
Find that a little bit difficult.
Do
I
you?
find that a bit hard. Yeah, because you know, privacy gets invaded sometimes, and that's quite hurtful. Um, and but then, you know, on the other hand, I get to meet some wonderful people, some wonderful, beautiful strangers. You know, lovely people that you feel they consider you as a friend, and that's nice. You know, people will meet me and come up to me in the street and say, you know, that song you sang at such and such helped me through so many hard times. Or and if my music can do that, then the negative side of being famous, you know, falls away. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I'd love to talk about your time on La Boheme. You were working with Baz Luhrmann, who is one of my favourite directors. I just would love to know what that experience was like working with him, because I do find him sort of a bit of a revolutionary and just love what he does.
Baz was incredible. He really was. When I met him for the first time, I was working at the Royal Opera House at Covent Garden as a junior principal, and I was watching a 5-hour opera, and the interval of this 5-hour opera was about an hour and a half interval. So it was a long old thing. So in the interval, I got up, ran out of the building, ran across the bridge to the other side of the Thames to this studio where they were auditioning for La Boheme, and I went in there and I sang. And Baz, his energy and the enthusiasm that he has just in his persona was incredible. You know, he really had this incredible ability to draw you in and make you listen. So when I got the job and I moved to New York to start rehearsals, I was sort of unaware of how often I would get to work with Baz. But we got to work with him every single day for 9 weeks of the run. And he was there throughout most of the run in New York as well, and San Francisco, and I learned so much from Baz. I really did. You know, opera, you have a tendency sometimes to let the music take you over, and you do big gestures and grand stances and big performance, and you're pushing it out there. But with Baz, it was all about reining it in and doing the smallest of gestures and the slightest of movements, because if everything's still and you see something move, your eyes get drawn to it immediately, the slightest little movement. So it was a real education, and I took that knowledge into my performance in Les Miserables, and I think that stood me in good stead for a lot of the shows that I did over the years.
We're going to come to Les Mis in a second. I just want to stay with New York for a minute, because obviously, I mean, you say it lightly and in passing, but you're on Broadway. I mean, this is the pinnacle of the theatre sort of world.
Yeah.
I mean, how does that feel? I mean, that is incredible.
Yeah, it was fabulous. It was really good. The first night party on Broadway, everybody turned up. Everybody was there. David Bowie, lots of Hollywood actors, Pierce Brosnan, Tom Hanks. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio was there, and Ewan McGregor turned up, and it was really a star-studded night. And then after that first night, you think, oh, I've got to do it all again tomorrow night. You know, it's crazy. So it's not like just over. You've got to do it for as long as you can on the run. And so we did, and I got into a routine of doing the show every single night, and people would interview after the show and say, now you're a leading man on Broadway, or just finished your show, what are you going to do now? And it's like, well, I'm going to get a hot dog on the way home, go to bed and walk my dog in the morning. That's about it. So you're not going to a showbiz party, and it doesn't work like that, you know. So it's a very control.
Well, you mentioned the famous New York hot dog, and I obviously got to find a way to link the food in here. But I used to live in New York in my 20s, and I have a very close affiliation to the place. So talk to me about the food scene in New York. I mean,
well, the hot dog.
I hope you ate well when you were out there.
I did. But the hot dog I used to go to was Gray's Papaya. Do you know where it was?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's a really famous place.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Up on Upper West Side. Yeah. And they did the great dogs.
They do amazing
awesome.
hot dogs.
It was really cool.
I love that.
But yeah, I got to eat at some lovely places, and later on in my career on Broadway, you know, when I was doing Les Mis and Finding Neverland and things, it was some lovely restaurants that I could finally afford to go into, which was nice.
Can you remember any that sort of stick in your mind?
There's one that I go to religiously, and it's called Gallagher's Steakhouse, and it's on. Do you know it?
I know it.
Oh my goodness!
I haven't been, but I know it. It's meant to be fantastic. It's been there for years.
I have my own chair at the bar with my name on the bar.
Do you? Well, I'm hopefully going to New York in a few months, so I'll try and go and be like. I love that. The production goes on to win a Tony.
Yeah, we get cast Tonys. Yeah.
I mean, how do you absorb something like that?
It was crazy. It was an amazing night. We never got to go to a Tony party because I was performing that night, so I had to finish the show. We had an early show, so finish the show, leave the theatre, go to Radio City, perform on the Tonys, get on a bus, come back to the theatre to do the evening show. So it was quite a big intense, but it was a wonderful event to be part of. I met again all the big names. Christopher Reeve was there, bless him, Superman.
He loved Christopher Reeve.
Lovely guy, very nice.
We must talk about your time in various productions of Les Mis, but that's sort of the production that really kind of got you, on the scene, put you sort of in the place that you are. I mean, you play Jean Valjean. You know, how does one sort of get themselves into the zone for a performance and a role like that?
It's, initially when I was asked to do the show, because I was performing in the opera houses at the time, I didn't think it was my world. I didn't think it was something I should really do. So I initially turned it down, and then it was my ex-wife Sarah who said, "You should really have a listen to this, because I think you'd knock the socks off it. You'd sing it really well." So I did, and I listened to it, and I'm very grateful that she made me listen to it, because it did put me on the map. And the minute I listened to it, the minute I went to see the show in the West End, and I saw the guy playing the role, I knew I had this affiliation to Valjean. I knew people ask me often, like, are there any roles that you would like to play? And I never go looking for roles. It's almost like roles come to find you, and that's not an arrogant thing to say. It's just you stumble across characters that you can connect with. And
hungry for more? Hit subscribe.